My name's Quick Pick Nick, and using millions of simulations, here's your starting five for Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals on June 28th. At MVP, there's really just one obvious choice here, and that's Paul George, averaging 50 fantasy points per game across a 4-game stretch, only falling below 52 fantasy points in Game 2. Skipping over to a utility pick, my model recommends Cameron Payne, who costs only $8,000 but scored a combined 89 fantasy points in Games 1 and 2 of this series. He's fallen off more recently, finding only 14 fantasy points, but with a floor in the teens range and a ceiling in the 50s, Payne seems to be the best low-cost pick. At star, you're going to want to get either DeAndre Ayton, who popped off last game with 62 fantasy points and an average of 45 fantasy points per game this series, or Chris Paul, performing well so far with more season-long consistency and reliability. Next up, similarly to Ayton, Ivica Zubac is a player who has dominated in this series with over 29 fantasy points in games 2, 3, and 4. Great output for a fifth of the budget at $12,000, leaving you with just enough cash to get Michael Bridges, scoring 26 fantasy points per game during the regular season and 31 fantasy points in Game 4.